Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Ruth Ochoa and today we are going to go over legs up on the wall. So legs up on the wall is such a wonderful technique. It's really a full body technique. You can get a lot done in a shorter amount of time if you're pressed for time that day. So if you're having low back pain, leg pain, foot pain, even neck stress, headaches, this is an excellent technique for all of those things because not only does it release the myofascial tissue, it also just helps to have the legs and feet up every now and then to help with circulation and blood flow. It also releases the dural tube, which runs all the way from the brain down to the bottom of the spine. And quite a few of us will notice that we feel a lot more calm and just clear after this technique. So let's get right into it. If you are not comfortable laying on the ground or getting on the ground for any reason, you can do this in your bed. What you'll need to do most likely in your bed is lay so that you're facing your headboard and your legs will be up against the headboard. Generally, there's a wall behind our headboard too. So look around your house. You might have to get a little creative if you're not able to get on the floor just yet, but give it a try. You might be surprised at how you do if you are concerned about that. Okay, so let's get into it. I will be giving you the view of my legs, so you can just listen along. There's not much to watch really. And let's get started. So find yourself a wall, and we would like our bottom to be pretty close to the wall, but not right up next to it. So just go ahead and lay down. And ideally you want to, when you're picking your space that you're doing this in, if you're able to be in a space where you can stretch your legs all the way out, that's going to be ideal. So if that's possible, good. If not, don't worry about it. So if you can stretch your arms out, that's good too. So just start off by being a comfortable distance away from the wall. You're laying on your back, staring at the ceiling. There might be about 6 inches between your butt and the wall. So you don't need to be right up next to it, and you don't really want to. We're going to keep a slight bend in our knees at all times, so don't lock your legs out. And if you're just laying here and you're already noticing relief, that is awesome. Just stay here and enjoy it for a second. From here we can experiment. So start off by just pointing both your toes gently, very gently. If you want to, you can outstretch your arms too, just to help open the upper body since we're already down here. So just point the toes and breathe. Gently point the toes. If your feet feel like they're going to start cramping or anything, that's too much point. You don't have to work that hard. Just a little bit. And notice what you're feeling as you do that. You may already be feeling your feet are releasing and opening. Maybe your toes want to reach a little more. That's okay. That's good. So just keep the toes pointed for now. Gentle pointing. So remember, we might be maintaining one position for 3 to 5 minutes. So if we push too hard in any direction and we know we can't maintain it for any length of time, that's too much. So just back off a little if you're feeling like, oh, there's no way I could stay here this long. And feel how good that feels. Notice what sensations you're already feeling in your feet and in your legs. Notice how your low back feels. Take some big, deep breaths, allowing your belly to fill with air. So on your inhales, try to picture the breath filling the whole body. Imagine your breath going all the way down to your lower abdomen each time you inhale. And just keep breathing. You're doing great. So maintain that point in the toes. And just see how that feels. So if you're dealing with shin splints, this is probably your new best friend. This is a great way to open up that tissue in the front of the lower leg. Great for our toes, very good for the knees. Let your whole upper body just settle onto the ground a little more. Feel the ground supporting you. You don't have to hold yourself up anymore. 'Time to relax. Good. And from there, you can either stay here. So legs up on the wall is different every time, and I encourage you to try all the different positions. So just keep your toes pointed for now while I explain this. Each time you do this, a different position might feel more beneficial that day. So it's great to test drive them all and get familiar so you know what you like. That way you can be a master at your own self-care. That's the goal. So this is one option with the toes pointed, and I would really encourage you to stay there for at least 3 minutes or longer when you do this at home. Keeping our legs up, it shouldn't be uncomfortable to have them up. If it is, just come down, take a break, and then come back. So now that we've tried that, let's try pointing or flexing our feet, excuse me. So flex the feet now, the opposite of what you were just doing. So before the toes were pointing up towards the ceiling, now we're gonna flex our feet. So now the tops of your feet, you're looking right at them pretty much. Try spreading your legs out a little further now. See how that feels. Take some deep breaths. Feel the feet. Good. So notice how that feels different than the other direction, right? You might start to feel that pull in the back of the legs, back of the hamstrings. Let your hips settle onto the ground again. Feel the support of the ground or your bed underneath you. And again, if you feel like you're cramping up or there's no way you could possibly maintain this, that's too much flexion. So just do a little bit less. So the fun thing about this particular technique is you can really make it your own, and it can be different every time you do it. Keep those feet flexed and just allow them to spread out, allow your legs to spread out a little more now. Just see how it feels. You get to really make this your own, so experiment. Move the legs around, but just keep the feet flexed for now and see what feels good for you. It's amazing as we maintain these positions how we start to feel it pulling up into the legs, up into the hips. That's your fascia. You're feeling that fascial web connecting. It's a beautiful thing. As your legs keep releasing, they may start to spread out more. You might notice your feet rotate out more. That's all good. Just let it happen. You're doing awesome. Keep breathing. That's the most important part. Keep softening. Check in with your upper body. It should be nice and relaxed. So once you get familiar with these positions, again, I'd encourage you to experiment with either flexion, pointing the toes into extension, hip flexion, all the different positions we're going to go through today. And just experiment with holding each one for an extended period of time. So maybe you flex the feet and you try to stay there for 5 minutes, or you point the toes and try. Allowing your body to move, soften, and unwind as the tissue releases. Great, so you can either stay there or let's try our next position. So take a peek up at me if you need to. Now I've bent my knees, both my feet the bottoms of my feet are making contact with the wall now. So this is a beautiful hip opener. Can you feel it? Right away, right into the hips, pelvic floor, inner thighs. So important. Arms can still be outstretched if that feels okay. Good. So now the wall's supporting us, but our feet are a little more relaxed, not really working. This is so good for our hip joint. It's really, really good to have this reverse positioning going on. So just letting gravity do the work. It might feel subtle, but I would encourage you again to stay here for about 5 minutes. keep breathing with each breath, sending your breath down. See if when you inhale, can you feel that breath just filling your whole lower abdomen, giving you more space in your spine. The hips are lengthening, the inner thighs are opening up. Feels so good. So if you're dealing with back or hip pain, this particular position is an important one for you. As your tissue releases, it might feel like your legs are sort of falling towards you a little more. Think about allowing the femur, the thigh bone, to almost drop into the hip more if it feels right to you. Just soften. That's the most important part. Just soften. Your arms can be doing whatever feels good. They might be by your side. Maybe it feels good to reach them up overhead a little bit. Oh yeah, that does feel good. Gentle reaching. That's going to change everything a little bit. So don't be afraid to experiment. You can trust what you're feeling. It's not going to hurt you at all. You're doing great. Very good. So those are some of our leg position options. After you go through them a couple times, you might notice that you just kind of find your own place that you like to be. So here's some other examples. Both legs extended, but one falling out one direction will give you a really nice stretch on your inner thigh. Just make sure you're being very gentle, please. Maybe it can look more like this for you. It's two inner thighs stretching at the same time. It's an excellent stretch as well. So give this one a try too. Get both legs angled out. Feet can be soft or working, whatever feels better. And again, you'd want to stay here for about 3 to 5 minutes if possible. So whenever you're done, just slowly come up. Go ahead and bend the knees first. Rock the hips back and forth a couple times. Look up at me if you need to. Good. Then we're going to roll to our side before we sit up. So roll to one side. Use your forearm to push you up. Excellent. Good job. So legs up on the wall. Ideally, we'd be spending at least 10 minutes doing that. The longer you spend, the better results you're going to have within reason. So if you have time to spend 15 or 20 minutes there experimenting with those different leg positions and finding what feels good for you, you will really benefit from it. So I encourage everyone to give this one a try. It's such a powerful technique. You're going to feel instantly refreshed and you're going to be helping yourself out. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. You did a great job. If you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, and